Hello, welcome to our home. If you're new here, my name is Karen, thismainermom, and this is my husband Robin, Mr. Mainer. I almost couldn't say it. We are remodeling our full bathroom, and we had intended to hire someone, and that didn't happen. That didn't work out because first person.
This is different than what we planned. I mean,
Yeah.
you try. Sometimes it's about schedule, sometimes it's about price or those things. But I mean, it was difficult for us to find the right match of what we were trying to do.
So he gave me a price I couldn't turn down.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Free. Yeah. So in today's video, we're going to show you our bathroom demo.
Bathtub demo, really.
Bathtub, shower. Oh yeah, I guess it wasn't the whole bathroom. It just
Didn't
felt
do
like
the whole
whole
bathroom.
It
Wow.
felt like the whole bathroom, let me tell you. Okay, let's get into it. So here you can see our befores of the whole
where you play
bathroom.
the Halloween music and the horror show.
Yeah.
Right?
So when did we redo this bathroom?
You said it was about
15 years ago. That's when we painted those aqua walls and we redid the lights, the mirrors.
Lori came to visit.
Yep, and then just a few years ago, you put in that ceiling. It's styrofoam, which is interesting. That's coming down. There's the window. We did the window, but it's starting to peel. We need a new blind. We need new screens because Leo. Yep, and we put in that wainscoting. Is that how you say it?
Wainscoting.
Wainscoting.
Or wainscot.
Yeah, so everything is eventually coming out of here, but this is the area of interest, is this shower. Oh my goodness. So this is original to the house. It wasn't that it was in terrible shape.
This is where Noah took a shower.
Yeah.
This is a pretty old shower.
Yeah, so. Yeah, and then the tile's a mess, ceramic tile. Does that not scream 1980s? And it's like grout's missing. We did redo that carpeting, so that's not so bad, but it's a wet room. We've always had a hard time controlling the moisture in there, so paint does not tend to hold. It's just been a hotty hot mess. But before we can do anything, we had to get the whole room cleaned out. We didn't actually clean out the whole room. We just cleaned out the bathtub side. We left everything else right where it is, and it's probably pretty dusty at this point.
Yeah, one of the things like the sheetrock and stuff that puts up a lot of dust. But we are going to redo the whole room, so we weren't too concerned about it. But things are okay. I vacuum dusted afterwards. But yeah, it does. You're demoing a room. It's going to be a mess.
It's a mess.
Yeah. Here you can see my best side.
We're watching it too, by the way.
We're taking everything apart.
Yep. Shower's coming out.
The shower head. Then once that comes off, we're going to start tearing off the top.
So how do you feel at this point of the demo?
I was excited to get started. I was like, yeah, okay. And then, the first several things went pretty, according to plan. So yeah,
taking things apart was pretty easy.
Yeah, well, until you get down to the tub. The tub itself was pretty, it was a lot.
Yeah, so this was vinyl, that you're removing right now, that you had glued up there. We haven't really quite decided what we're going to be putting up there next. I'd really love to do subway tile, but man, tile is so expensive. I saw the prices and I thought, that's going to be square foot, and it wasn't. It was per tile. So I haven't quite decided. We'll have to measure it, figure out how many tiles we would need.
Probably be cheaper to buy a kiln and make our own. I mean, it's really expensive.
Like
for
the Israelites.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
So how many tubs have you taken out and installed?
This is the first. Yeah, this is the first. We were talking about this earlier, years ago when I was in construction. We used to set them in place, or we might deliver something to the room, but we were never the ones to connect anything.
And by years ago, he means 35 years ago.
Oh yeah, when I was young, I worked as a carpenter.
Yeah.
Well, carpenter. That's probably an overstatement. If you asked anybody I worked with, I wasn't very handy, let's put it that way.
I feel short.
Right here, I am getting together what's often called a Dremel, or it's a oscillating saw, shakes back and forth, and they're really great. A friend of mine introduced me to that and that was an awesome, like, eye-opening. I can use that for everything. So there's tons of things that you can use it for. It's really good if you don't want to make a massive mess. You want to make some fine cuts and pull something out. A lot of people just rip out a hammer and start going at the wall. And when I was younger, I would have done that. But as I get older, I kind of want to make everything clean. So
yeah,
it's a great tool.
That. You'll see you say that here a little later. And this is a fiberglass tub and surround. So we're going from fiberglass to plastic. So that's a bit of a learning curve. Trying to make sure it does the new one. The plastic one doesn't get scratched because they're kind of fragile. So, yeah. And,
you know, we've been working on this, and as we're watching what we're looking at, I'm already seeing mistakes, things that I did. That
like
I'm
what?
Like, well, you remember I'm cutting the sheetrock, and I didn't take enough when we get later.
Right. Oh, I thought you meant, okay. I thought you meant like a mistake. Like
No. One of the things you got to be careful of why you don't go ripping the wall apart is there can be electrical outlets or electrical lines and other things. I have no idea what's behind this tub, really. I mean, I have a pretty good idea because I understand the different walls that are around it, but at the same point, you know, you have people who they just take out a Sawzall and they go at the tub, and you're like, that seems pretty dangerous, like if there is electricity or other things. So it's important to know the area you're working with. And luckily I do. I have a pretty good idea of what's in the walls behind the tub. So.
Yeah, so how did you learn how to do this stuff?
A lot of things I learned when I was in construction. Some things I learned from my father. Yeah, YouTube channels are always a good way. Like, interesting, YouTube is very good at pinpointing something you're looking for. Like, if you're looking at an overall project, you can find that on YouTube too. But a lot of things I've learned over the years were, you know, somebody taught me that. But YouTube is really great for like, okay, I'm dealing with this specific thing. And how do I take that? So you can go to a video that's like 40 minutes long and scroll back and forth to the, 27th minute and find the piece that you're actually looking for. That's an absolutely wonderful advancement in our world to be able to do that.
Do you love home improvement?
I don't necessarily love home improvement. It depends. I mean, there are some things I like as a project, but overall, no. I like to live in a home that's done. I think most people would, when they dream about a home, they're like, it's finished. I get to live in it.
Some people want to do a DIY project. They like Fearfully Created, right? Her mobile mansion. I know a lot of you watch her. She loves a good DIY project, so they do it on purpose.
Well, I think the people who buy a new home who are like that, they just keep adding on, right? They add on different pieces. When you're remaking something you didn't do, that's very painful.
We bought this house. Yeah. We swore we were not going to buy a fixer-upper. And we bought a fixer-upper. There's not one room that has, this is the second time around, there's not one room that hasn't been
No, we've redone every room in
everything.
This house.
We've painted ceilings, but we haven't redone all this. The only ceilings we've redone is the 2 bathrooms.
Correct.
Yeah. And we've threatened that room that was my office, that's the 3-season porch. We've threatened to blow that thing right off the house because that thing was sinking into the ground, and we've had so many
We've
problems
had good luck with
that.
it since we did a recent remodel, but yeah, that's a very challenging room. It was not, again, when you buy a house that you didn't plan to do, you're going to get something that you didn't create, and you're going, why was that done? Especially, I mean, anybody who's ever been involved in construction will look at something with a different pair of eyes. They'll look at it going, why is that roof so flat? They'll look at it going, why is there no insulation here? They see those things right off, and they notice it.
Very little of this house was done to code or well.
Right, but you and I, when we were looking to buy a house, we didn't have a lot. And so for a lot of people, they don't have anything.
And everything we're looking at
you got to buy what you can afford.
There was stuff that was like $10,000 over this house. Tiny house, just tiny bedrooms. We had young children at the time. but it just was just not even really feasible. So this was the first house where the size was feasible.
Yeah, and we moved in. We moved in, and the first couple of weeks we were like, we hope we get to stay here.
Yeah, because we didn't think we could afford it even then.
You're going to deal with the repo man or something, because it's just...
Yeah, it felt out of reach.
It did. It was more. It was $60,000 more than the first house we bought, and it was $30,000 over what we really financially thought we could afford.
I don't even remember.
$30,000 is something.
I don't remember
to
us
reach.
even what did we want?
As I've told you before, you do not know the earning potential of the person sitting next to you.
God is good.
God is awesome.
Yeah. And
he has done more than we could ever imagine.
Yeah. And now no one would buy a house for as little as we bought this. I mean,
yeah.
Where the market is right now is crazy pants.
Yeah, so, all those factors in your work and what you're doing, just, keep in mind that, redoing a house is hard work. Yeah.
All right, so what are you down to now?
I'm taking off fixtures.
Yep.
So, when you start taking off fixtures that have been being used for a long time, there's a lot of corrosion.
Minerals. Just minerals in the water.
Depending on where you live, minerals.
Oh, yeah. This is really gross to say, but I went in there, and on the floor, I saw green stuff. And I thought one of the cats had gotten sick in the bathroom. And I'm like, what in the world is on the floor? It looks like someone got sick. And he's like, oh, that came out of the drain. Was it the drain?
Yeah, it was the overflow. So in most bathtubs, there's an overflow drain. When you fill up the bathtub, it goes, oh, well, this overflow drain had a lot of excess.
Nastiness.
Yeah.
Oh, nasty. You get in a shower to get clean. This is just nasty.
Yeah, but I mean, that's one thing. If you are doing plumbing or you're involved in construction work, it's important to realize what you're getting into. Sometimes you can get into something that you need gloves, you need a mask, any of those types of things. Don't take that for granted. Yeah. So.
Also, this was the vacuum that I've been using in our basement. That's not a shop vac, right? That you're using?
I brought the shop vac at first, but it wasn't performing like I hoped.
Yeah, this vacuum.
So I brought the other one up, and it works pretty good once I cleaned it out.
Yeah, I'll have to show now what brand it is, because the brand sent it to me for free because they wanted me to show it on my YouTube channel. But the wand scraped floors, it was like, and I said that when I was in the basement, so I wouldn't do the video because I'm like, I can't recommend this. But when it comes to shop vac like stuff, like vacuuming in the basement, or I wouldn't call it a shop vac, but my car, doing something like this, it's worked out to be a great little vacuum, and I do use it quite often. It's just not something I would use on floors in the main areas of the house that you want to keep nice.
Right, I think from the mechanics part, it's a standard, good, sturdy vacuum. It's kind of like your Briggs & Stratton vacuum, but it's not suave. It doesn't hit your floor right. Like if you're dealing with hardwood floors and other things, you gotta keep that in mind. But it came in handy for this job.
Yep.
So one of the things that I did was I drilled some pilot holes in the old tub to then be able to put the Sawzall blade in there and cut it out. You try and use a Sawzall blade on a fiberglass tub, it's going to be bouncing all over the place, and it's not. It's scary, actually, because it doesn't actually cut straight or anything. So you got to hold it with both hands and work that. But anyway, I cut some holes, drilled some holes, to guide it with, and then I was able to cut very easily. That went well. I did get to a point where when I get down to the bottom of the tub, that's where I found some difficulty. There's an extra, inch and a half or more of particle board that was on the bottom of this fiberglass tub. Also, the fiberglass, you got to be careful you don't get it stuck in your fingers and your.
Did you wear gloves?
cuticles. I did eventually. Yeah,
Oh.
I was like, okay, I should wear some gloves. Yeah. So.
Did you not think of that before?
No, I brought them up.
Oh.
It's just gloves can be difficult because they also slip from your hand, and you don't want that. You want firm grip. So it's a balance. You know, you want to be able to control the tool you're working with, or do you want to protect yourself from something? So.
Was this easy? You said this was pretty easy, except when you got down to the tub.
Yeah, I thought it came out, like as far as cutting it out, that went pretty well. I was able to cut it into, different pieces and take those pieces out, and then eventually do the bottom part, which was, like I said, probably the most durable, difficult part. But I'm fortunate that I have these tools. We've done different projects over the years. I have a Sawzall. Not everybody owns one. So.
Did you find it easier to find your tools since we decluttered your tools?
Yeah, actually, that was a good thing. And actually, when I got done, I put them back where they belong too. So.
Ooh.
That's the big tip. When you do have a place for something, you want to put it back there.
So would you say your tools are organized? I feel like we need to organize them.
I don't think they're organized like, there's a generation that used to like hang up their socket wrenches and put their
He's calling out my dad
stuff
right now.
together.
He's calling out my dad.
I've never had that space or that organization.
Yeah, he had it drawn on the wall.
I'll tell you, that stuff is beautiful. When you can get to that point in life, that's good stuff.
Ooh.
First panel out.
I was celebrating every step of this process. But I think we could probably organize your tools a little better than they are right now.
Yes, yeah. I think
work on that.
We're always torn between. I don't really use them that often, so I don't need everything like displayed out where you can see everything either. Like if you're in there all the time doing something, having a nice workshop is good. I'm more like the guy who rolls up with a suitcase and does something, because I don't use it that often, so as long as everything's in the suitcase, you're fine.
You just bring it all. That's me when I go on a trip. I just bring it all. Then no matter what I want to wear, chances are I have it with me.
But like we've struggled over the years. Like I don't have a space for all my books necessarily. I don't have a space.
He doesn't care about his tools. He just cares about the books.
Well, even with the tools, we're not putting up pegboards and all that.
No,
we could, but we've never really had space to do those.
Do you think you'd buy a house more? You'd be more likely to buy a house if it had a pegboard for the tools for your husband, or it does it not matter? I don't know. My parents had a pegboard over their stove for their kitchen tools too.
Well, I think, there's like 3 grades of people, right? There's the do-it-yourself person who's always got the tools. They got everything organized. They got their stuff right. Then there's the other person who's like, I ain't doing nothing. I'm hiring everybody.
We'd like to
be
that.
They're all going to come in here and do their stuff, and you take your tools with you. And then there's the person who's in between.
Right, that's you.
They have some of the tools. They don't have all the tools. Sometimes they hire people. Sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
So.
All right, I couldn't help but catch that sigh. How are you feeling now at this point? You're just tired?
Yeah, I mean, my goal the first day was to get the tub out. That was really, you can't go into these projects thinking that you're going to handle. You see these people do a tub in half an hour or whatever, and you're like, the
magic of YouTube.
That seems like a stretch.
That video you watched said, what did it say? Because it said in 30 minutes.
He said 30 minutes. There's no way he did that
to take it out and put it in, right?
Yeah, it's 30 minutes of instruction. It didn't take him 30 minutes.
Oh, because it said replace your tub in 30 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
And these, you look at a lot of these projects, people who do it all the time, yes.
And he had more than one guy. It wasn't just him.
Right. Yeah, if you have an extra pair of hands, that's helpful. If you do it all the time, it's helpful.
If it's the same exact tub and surround, ours is not the same. We're taking out one size and putting in one that's just a little bit bigger.
A little bigger. But I think what's interesting is there's been enough years that go by for people who are trying to replace bathtubs or things like that. They don't even sell the old one anymore. The new stuff is different. It's not going to fit. Everything needs to be measured much more, accurately than ever. And we run into some of that in this project where we measured, but it didn't.
It still didn't work.
It didn't come out the way we expected
Yeah.
it, and I think it's important to be ready for that. People who do this all the time, they're doing that stuff,
Right.
they know that's going to happen, and
Right.
they feel comfortable because they've already torn this out 10 times, and they could tear something else out and put it back in. And so
Yeah.
they're not too worried about it. They are more worried about the bottom line. They don't want rework because it costs.
I have the wainscoting on the bottom and paint on the top. This time it'll be a wallpaper on the top from the Property Brothers, the peel and stick. But we had to take the wainscoting off. So I need to decide, am I doing that again or am I going to do something different? So if you have any ideas, I've thought about batten board. I don't know how Mr. Mister would feel about doing batten board, where you're making kind of your own design, or just the strips, like strips every so many inches. I don't know. But tell me, I kind of like the coastal vibe because I grew up on the coast. I'm not on the coast now, I'm on a lake. But I kind of like that style.
You're near a lake.
I'm near a lake. I'm across the street from a lake.
On the lake is a 50,
Yes.
60 yard
We're not
stretch.
rubbing shoulders with the rich. We're rubbing kneecaps. Not that they're rich, but they are on the water and we're not.
Yeah, we're not right next to it. But it's very nice. It's nice to have it nearby. And, you know, if you like watching other people enjoy the water.
Yeah. We walked to it. I mean, it's what? We just walked to it tonight. It was 5 minutes.
It is very nice.
I mean,
We
it is
live in a
literally
pretty-
across the street, but we don't have a, what do you call it, right of way. You know, it's somebody else's yard.
We have no way.
We have the look over there away.
Right.
The look away.
Look, they have a way.
Yeah. So look at you getting that
Yeah.
out.
This is taking the sheetrock down off the right side, and basically you're just trying to expose the screws that were holding the old tub together. So you got to take back what's there to get in to actually take the screws out and get that off the wall.
Yeah. Remember in ye olden days, if you bought a tub at Lowe's, they had somebody who could install. They said they hadn't had someone to install, I think they said 2 years. And then I called Home Depot. They had no one to install. Then we tried, looking privately, and we thought we had somebody. That didn't work out. Then we thought we had somebody else, and it was too expensive.
So if you're looking for something to do, and you do bathtubs, jump in with Lowe's and Home Depot.
Come to Maine. Yeah, seriously, they must be looking everywhere.
They must be looking for somebody to do them because they do sell them. I don't know how often. I would think it's probably not that often.
Yeah.
Scary stuff, man. That's where we're at. He's watching a video just to make sure he knows what he's doing to get this tub out. Don't you love YouTube for that? You can just ask it whatever you want. See some guy doing it.
So when I get to this part, you're cutting the tub apart with a Sawzall, but you have to remember on this side where the handle is, this is where all your plumbing is. The last thing you want to do is take a Sawzall to pipes. So like I was saying, you have to know what's behind the wall, what you're dealing with. So.
Did you know it was behind the wall?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I used the oscillating saw a little bit, and then I used the Sawzall, and I didn't even come close to the pipes in what I was doing. But if you go in there with a 7-8 inch blade, yeah.
There you go. You got one off. Now it's time for the next one.
Yeah.
Can I tell them? Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. He doesn't even know what I'm about to say.
It doesn't matter.
I'm kind of glad to see the turny thing come off because when he put that one in, the cold side is hot and the hot side is cold.
Yeah, so we had one of those
corrected.
plunger valves. The old tub had a plunger valve, and if you put it in upside down, obviously it doesn't quite do the hot and cold correctly. So that's this the new one that goes along with what we're changing will make it different. But
it won't do that. I'm about to test it out just after we get done with this video. So here we go.
I gotta come another inch and a half. I gotta come another inch and a half this way down. I'm gonna take this trim and this side piece off, and then I'll cut down like I did on the other one. I'll cut crossed here, trying to stay away from this pipe at the bottom. Let me show you that. So I'm going to cut through here, probably. I saw somebody do this on TV. So I'm going to cut through here, try not to hit this, stay away from these things, and then this whole thing should come out of here. The tub should come out, and then I can look at preparing the rest of this for the new piece. So I basically have trimmed this wall, cut this off. I'll probably have to cut the tub in half and then take it out that way. I got a screw down here. I'm guessing I got at least that on this side, but once I do that, I might have to take the first layer of this floor. So we have a tile floor here. Let me show you what we're dealing with here. So I'll probably have to take this row here. I have to take all of that out to get the new tub in because it's just slightly wider. We're redoing the floor anyway, so if you don't have a cat's paw, you should have one the other end, a crowbar. And these are really, really helpful for any kind of demo you're doing. You can tell I'm not just tearing the place apart. When I was younger, I used to just rip things out. I'm a little bit slower now that I'm older because sometimes you want to save something where before you used to just rip it right off. So we'll see. These were great, by the way, at least when we did this. So this is the second time we've done this bathroom. When I put these panels in the first time, they're pretty sturdy and they stay for quite a while. They look alright, but these are going away. Yeah. The baseboard took a lot of beating over time, a lot of water on the floor when the kids were younger. Alright, so we get that out. Now we're just going to widen this wall. Widen this with the oscillating saw. Then we'll cut through it with the Sawzall here. That'll get us to just the tub, and we should be able to work with it at that point. Alright? we got the lower base out, and we didn't have to turn the water off either. So here's all your plumbing still intact. When we bring up the new tub, set it in here, I think things are going to fit pretty well. The only thing is the flooring here will probably have to be pushed back. So I need to take a few moments. So this is completely out, and now I'm going to just try to clean everything up. I have two important things to do before I get any closer to putting this bathtub in. One, I need to make sure the floor is level. And number two, I mentioned before, I've got a little edge here of the tiling, which I think will have to come out. So I'm going to have to deal with that. At this point, I haven't had to shut the water off or anything like that. And we have the whole bathtub out. There's a couple of nails that'll need to be removed just so we get to a clean surface here. And then we should be able to either later today or in the morning actually set the tub in place. And we'll go from there. So I'm taking the one row of tile up before we put in the new tub, and I was telling her I have a tool that I bought in
that
my
blue
hand,
one in his left
the
hand.
blue tool. Yeah, it's really good. It's just like a cement chisel type of thing, and you hammer something 2 or 3 times, and it makes a clean cut through stone.
Right, but you don't have to worry about like damaging the floor under it, right?
No.
That's
And
the
in
good
this
part
case,
about it.
there was a subflooring of plywood, which I don't remember whether I videoed that or not, but I have to take that up anyway.
I think I remember you saying that it was 2 different levels.
Yeah. So you have a tile and a like a subflooring of plywood, and then the actual floor is under that. So there's 3 layers of floor there.
I have to say you did a really good job keeping things clean. That was good. That was really good.
Yeah, up until the end. But
yeah.
I mean, I think one of the things that you focus on is you need to take a break, clean things up, get yourself in a clean space so you can think clearly about what you're about to do. And there's a lot of dust, a lot of little pieces, shards,
look at
nails,
your hat. It
all
used to be
kinds
blue.
of things. Yeah.
It's like dust colored now.
There's a lot of stuff that's on those floors. And of course, the other part, if that hasn't been opened up for 25 years, 30 years, there's a lot of stuff there that you got to clean up.
Yeah.
You know, the walls and stuff, there's cobwebs, there's other things that are there that it's important to clean
luckily, we actually live in an association, which is pretty rare in Maine. Mainers aren't really big on associations. Oops, excuse me. Mainers aren't really big on people telling you how to do things. But we have an association. There is a pool. There's a workout area. So there's 2 buildings, and they each have a shower. So we knew that worst comes to worst, if this took too long, we could go down to the clubhouse and have a shower. So,
and the pool is still open.
And the pool is still open. You could just jump in. The 2 indoor pools are still open. So that worked out really good. Look at how pretty you did.
Sweep all this up. Look at this edge. We're probably going to take this and cut the edge of this. Dremel the edge of this because we got to have clean edge. It has to be the same level as the floor for the tub. So that'll be our next thing.
So that's it. That's the demo. And next video might not be, I don't know if it'll be immediately next, but soon you're going to get to see him put in the new tub and surround. That turns out to be a big adventure, right?
Yeah.
honestly,
Stay tuned for
yeah,
more
everything
chaos.
that could go wrong.
Yeah.
Could,
So the
went wrong.
demo part, which
went so
you watched,
easy.
it did. It went
And he was
much
very
more
confident.
according to plan.
Yeah, we were so confident, feeling good. We had planned. He took a day off from work Friday. That was demo day, and then Saturday was supposed to be install day. Saturday night, take your nice hot shower. So I'll let you find out what happens next. But remember, as always, that God loves you, and we love you too. There's the phone. Can't wait to see you next time.